Hello, Patrick's peeps. Today was my day one. It was the what they call the final flight of day ones for the World Series of Poker Main Event 2021. They had so many players that they had 5 day ones. Today was the last day one. So, as I'm sure you all know, this is like really exciting for me. I've been super nervous. Never played not only in the World Series before, I've never played in a tournament where it cost more than $200 before, and it's a $10,000 buy-in. So, how'd I do on day one? Well, you start with 60,000 in chips. The blinds, they stay at each level for 2 hours. We started around noon. They were late because they couldn't get enough dealers. So basically, it's structured that you'd play 5 levels in a day, right? So that's 10 hours of play. Then you get your 20-minute breaks, which turn into like 25 and 30-minute breaks. Then you get your 75-minute lunch breaks, dinner breaks. Yes, I did survive day one. Just got out of there a little while ago. Didn't get out of there till 1 something in the morning. Guess what? Got to be back down there at 11 a.m. So this is going to be brutal for this old man. I'm hurting, man. I haven't played this many hours in a long time, and it's the dream of a lifetime. So I don't want to squander it. You got to tell you, folks, it was a brutal day for me because I was super, super card dead for so long, and it's funny. I had pocket kings, I think 5 times throughout the day, and they held up all but once. Had pocket aces once, and it's funny. I was noticing that every time I would go 2.5 times the blind as an opening raise, whatever happened. It wasn't. In other words, here's what I'm getting at. I noticed that twice when I raised the minimum, instead of going 2.5 times, just doubling the big blind, right? That this one player always 3-bet me. So I'm like, probably doing that to come after me, so I'm showing a sign of weakness. And at that point, a lot of people were kind of 3-betting before the flop, right? So pick up pocket aces. The only time I had aces all day. Pick up pocket aces under the gun. I'm like, okay, I just open for the minimum, right? Minimum raise. Mr. 3-bet folds his cards. I'm like, God dang it. And 3 or 4 other people called, right? I'm like, oh, this is not good. Well, then the flop comes ace, jack, jack, 2 clubs. Well, this is pretty cool. So, of course, I check it. It checks on the button. He bets, I think at this point, the big blinds were like 400. And he bets 700 or something. Woo, I got action, right? I'll just flat call and watch everybody call behind me. Someone's got to have a jack. Someone's got to have club draws. Someone's got to have a king, queen going for a straight draw, something. Everybody else mucks. Turn comes a blank. I check. Of course, now he checks. Shit. River comes 10 of clubs. So unless he's got pocket jacks or king, queen of clubs for the royal flush, I've got the nuts, right? I didn't even bet that much, and he just insta-mucked. I'm like, God dang it. And I got to tell you, folks, that's pretty much how it went for me all day. Whenever I made really big hands, whenever I would flop a nut straight, stuff like that, I very rarely got action. But what was really brutal for me? I seriously must have had pocket 10s at least 7 or 8 times minimum. Not once, not one freaking time did they ever hold up. I actually had pocket 10s back to back. No good, no good. Pocket 9s, at least 5, if not 6 times. Not once did I ever win a pot with them. Not even raising and taking the blinds with them. Almost every time I had 9s or 10s, I either got 3-bet and I would call. But even if I didn't, not once did I ever not only flop a set, never even flopped a straight draw with it, with pocket 10s. If it's going to put overcards up, at least put queen, jack, 9 up there or something. Every time it would be like an ace and a king or an ace and a queen. Just brutal, Other than that, I've mucked most of my small pocket pairs, deuces, threes, fours, and I got to tell you, it's not like they were hitting any flops. And I was going, damn, I should have played that. Matter of fact, the only hand I can remember on is where I did call a pocket sevens in a three-way pot, and the flop came jack eight deuce, and so I check mucked, and then the turn came in eight, and there was some action on it, and in the river I'm thinking, want to be a seven, and it was a seven, and one guy had ace jack, the other guy had jack 10 of hearts, but the river was the third heart, so he made the flush, right? So I'm like, yeah, I would have got paid, but anyway, long story short, I did steal a couple of pots that I was kind of proud of to myself that I stole. But we got some really good players on the table. One of them, he's probably at least about 2 levels, if not 3 levels above me in playing, maybe even more than that, and especially in playing live tournaments. He's really, really good he's very aggressive, and he showed a couple of his bluffs, and they were like huge bluffs, right? But you know how that story goes. Whenever I call this huge bet on the river, thinking, all right, maybe he's bluffing again because this is a perfect setup for him to bluff with. No, he had it. But anyways, it was a really fun day. Hell of an experience. To my friend that bankrolled me for this because he wanted me to experience this poker player's dream of a lifetime to play in the World Series. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this. Didn't talk to them, but Chris Moneymaker was only one table away from me. I saw Scotty Nguyen. I saw Doyle Brunson. There's obviously all the big names are out there. And didn't get picked for the televised table today. Maybe tomorrow, who knows? But you know me, you know Patrick, I did have my table just cracking up, man. So I'm saying, put me on that freaking TV. I will keep them entertained. Oh, I had them cracking up, man. What was I saying? There were things like the dealer was talking about. There's this app you get on your phone called the Clear app. And what it does, it verifies your vaccination. You have to be vaccinated, fully vaccinated, and prove it to play in this World Series, right? And that goes for the dealers too, obviously. And now when we're at the table, we don't have to wear a mask, but the dealers do. Anytime we get up from the table, even go in the bathroom, whatever, we have to wear a mask. So anyway, this one dealer was saying that when he was doing the Clear app and it does a facial recognition thing, he was saying, for some reason it told me, don't smile. He's like, the hell, I smile all the time. And so they were kind of, tripping on that. And I said, you know why? Because they've actually proven that smiling dilutes the vaccine. And I said, this is part of big pharmaceuticals conspiracy here is to help the miserable people take over the world. That one had them all laughing pretty hard. And this other guy had this really funny story where during one of the breaks, the dinner break, I think it was even, he needed to charge his phone. And, they kick you all out of the poker room during breaks, right? Because they don't want players wandering around grabbing chips and shit. So anyways, he said he wanted to play craps and blackjack and stuff, but there was no phone chargers there. I mean, he had the phone charger, just nothing to plug into. So he sat down at one of these like mechanical roulette games, right? I hate roulette. I don't even want to play the damn thing, but it had a charge plug there. So he plugs in. He says, I'm betting whatever the hell I'm betting. I don't even know. And he said, all of a sudden, he said, I'm ready. My phone's charged. I'm ready to come back to the tournament. And it's like, bling, bling, bling. Call attendant, call attendant. Won a jackpot. He's like, what the hell? What kind of jackpot did I win? I don't want to win one. I don't want to waste the time on this. I want to get back to the tournament. Apparently, he bet some kind of red snake thing, and it came up, and he won $1,400. So why this story was so funny is they were giving him a bunch of shit, and they were like, he said the guy kept telling him, well, I need to see your social security card. And he's like, who the hell carries their social security card? You got my ID. I've given you my social security number. And he's going, can I just come back and collect this later? I got to get back to the tournament, man. He said that this guy just kept giving him so much crap. So, we all got a good laugh out of just social security card thing. And me, I was milking this one pretty good all night. I think it was about an hour later. And we were in a pot. And on the river, he shows the winner. And as I started to muck my cards, and he just starts pushing chips. I said, hold on. Don't push him in the pot. unless he can show you a social security card. So yeah, I just had a lot of fun like that all day. And like I said, I had the people cracking up and stuff. I like doing that because it brings out the humor in other people. And some other people started saying some really funny stuff. So our table was a fun table. But at the end of the day, started with 60,000 in chips. I don't know. I got to find the stat somewhere and see what the average stack size is. But I finished the day with 104,000 in chips. So that means I'm going into day 2, 104,000. Just now, the blinds were 600. Well, the way they do it is like 300, 600, but then it's the 600 big blind plus 600 ante for the big blind. So anyway, at 600, I've still got over 100 big blinds, like 100 and whatever. So when we come back, I guess it's going to be 800 big blinds. So big blind will be 800. So I've got over 100 big blinds. So I'm sitting pretty good, Really curious to see what kind of stacks other people have. But again, I don't have any like great stories, any big hands that were just like, wow, oh, you played it that way. And, oh, that happened. Is what it is, I think I definitely played a little too nitty, a little too scared. And I'll give you one example of where I know I blew it on the river and I left value out there. I've got jack of clubs, 10 of hearts, 10 of spades, whatever. I'm the big blind. Guy opens for a raise, and me and 2 other people call. It was like, a min raise. And the flop, king, queen, 9, right? So I flopped the nut straight. And there was only one club out there. So the pre-flop raiser checks, and I'm like, shit, there's no way I'm letting this check through, right? So I bet, god damn, again, everybody else folds except the pre-flop raiser. He calls. Now the turn comes the 5 of clubs. So there's 2 clubs out there, right? But I've still got the nuts. He checks, and I bet about a third of the pot. And he thinks, and he calls, right? And I'm thinking, shit, what other hands can I put him on, right? Well, definitely ruling out like ace, king, pocket king, stuff like that, pocket queens, because, I would have seen a raise on the turn. I would have seen him bet on the flop with any kind of a king. So what's left? Well, one of the hands, of course, I'm thinking is, a nut flush draw. But think about this. There's only one way it makes sense. Since I have the jack of clubs and I'm blocking ace jack of clubs, which would have been a very, reasonable call on the flop of king, queen, 9, a 10 for his nut straight, let alone backdoor flush draw. So when the 5 of clubs comes, of course he's stuck with it. So, I got to fear ace jack of clubs, ace 10 of clubs, right? Well, I've got the jack of clubs. So that really leaves the ace 10 of clubs. Well, guess what the river was? The river was the ace of clubs. So I've still got the nut straight. The only thing that beats me is a flush. But again, let's break this down, folks. So here's what happened. On the river, he checks, and I bet pretty sizable. I think I bet about a third of the pot, and he check raises me, right? I'm such a nit and such a scared little girl, little boy. I just flat called him. But if I'd have thought it out, the only hand that really beats me at this point would have to be exactly 9, 10 of clubs, which again would make sense to call it 1 bet on the flop. I can see him raising pre-flop with it. I can see him calling it on the flop, and on the turn, again, he's stuck with it, right? It's the only hand that makes sense. I should have raised it again, though, because it's still not the nut flush for him. Kind of hard for him to put, if he's got 9, 10 of clubs, though, hard to put me on any jack in another club because he knows I'm not playing that, loose. Although big blind could have defended with it. Anyway, I didn't. And of course, he turns over ace queen. He, when he rivered the aces up, he thought he had nailed me. So that's one mistake I think I made where I should have definitely, raised him one more time there. Other than that, I got to tell you, here's how nitty I had been. At one point, I had ace queen offsuit under the gun, and I didn't hesitate. I just mucked that son of a bitch. Ace Queen has got me in a lot of trouble in tournaments lately online, especially when I'm out of position with it, But I don't know. I just didn't like it, just didn't feel it, and just mucked it. Ace Jack offsuit, I'm always mucking that under the gun, right? Ace 10, Ace 9s even suited, I'm mucking them. Ace 5s, Ace 6s suited and out of position, I'm mucking them. So playing pretty tight, making some moves here and there. Only got caught twice out of maybe about 5 different moves that I made. So that's not bad. Anyways, I'm telling you folks, I would go absolutely card dead, like not even seeing a flop for at least 45 minutes to an hour. In fact, I think it was the first 2 levels at least, if not close, damn close to it. And that's 4 hours, 2 hours each level, right? That every single big blind I had I could not defend with it. Even if it was just like a min raise and everybody else folded. Now you got to remember, in the big blind, not only is it my big blind out there, but I've also put the exact same amount for the antes, right? So I got a lot of money invested in there, but I don't know, folks. I just can't do it. I cannot defend big blinds with Jack deuce offsuit, Queen 3 offsuit, and 7 3s and 7 4s and shit like that. I just can't do it. So muck. And I'm telling you, I was so card dead. I thought they were going to have to call a hearse to come and collect my cards. Man, they were just so card dead for so long. And for most of the tournament, I don't remember any times where it was like I had playable hands like back to back and then another one and then another, with even the next two rounds. So I built up some chip stacks. It kind of, went up, down, but I was never in danger, never even close to being all in. At one point, I was the second highest chip stack on the table. I think I did good. I did well. I'm feeling good about it. My nerves are calming down some. I'm ready for day 2, man. I'm going to go to sleep now because it's now 2:30 in the morning and I've got to be in my seat at 11. So I got to get me some sleep so I can get some breakfast and, get a shower and all that good stuff in the morning. But hey, thanks for rooting for me, all my friends and family and my other peeps out there. Hopefully tomorrow night I'll be having another good story to share with you about how I'm going on to day 3. See you in the trenches.